everyone. This is Sue here from Sue's Paper Creations, and I want to welcome you to Cuppa. I have got my London fog in here, and it is amazing. I always put a little cinnamon in my London fog, and it's delicious. And we are going to create. I am going to show you today a really easy paper technique. We always have so many scraps left over of cardstock. So it is going to be great to have a way to use those cardstock scraps to create some beautiful cards, right? Always nice to turn scraps into something beautiful. So we're going to do that today. Hello, Joy. Hello, Jan. Coming to me here from, I am live right now on YouTube as well as Facebook. So if you're joining from either of those, welcome. I'm glad that you could make it today. Ooh, I got a sunbeam here happening. I am glad that you could make it for a little creative session. If you happen to see my post a couple hours ago, well, you can hop on in and you can do this little paper technique with me. I am using 3, 6, 9 pieces of cardstock that measures 1.5 by 1 1/8. Okay. For all the cards, I'm actually using 3 of 3 different colors. But you can always use all the same color. You can mix it up and use 2 colors, a little checkerboard, whatever you want to do, okay? All right, hello, Margaret from across the way. Yes, it is a beautiful day here in Victoria too, as you can see. Look at that sunshine. No complaints here, as I am sure a lot of you across Canada are still in pretty much full-on winter. BC has kind of broken through with some sun here, and we have got, I guess, the start of spring. That's what we're hoping for, right? Hello, Gail. So today is Friday. We are going to do a little fun Friday with our little cup of tea or coffee, whatever it is that you have got going on. I'm going to walk you through a few cards. I was going to just do one. Then I thought, I want to do 2 different cards so that you can see how different looks are with this paper technique. And then I thought, well, if I do one more, then it prolongs having to clean the house for like another 15 minutes, which is always good, right? I'd rather create than clean the house, but I do have to do some cleaning today after this. So I'm going to enjoy my creating before the cleaning, okay? Let's head on down to my workspace and you can see what's going on. Okay, so as you can see, we have got some 1.5 by 1/8 of an inch pieces of cardstock. I was trying to get this one kind of ready to go here, but I might as well jump right in and show you what I'm doing, okay? I've got one here all ready to go. So for this quick and easy paper technique, I am using literally cardstock. I've got a huge bin of leftover scraps from cards that I have made, prep that I have done for card classes, and I wanted to see if I could play around, come up with some patterns, some fun, some different ways that we can emboss things. We can stamp stuff and see what fun we can have today, okay? It is officially, I will remind you, officially the last day of celebration, which is crazy. We are February the 28th, and you know what? The months are going way too fast, right? Days are going way too fast. So if I do have my link there, I have had a couple people contact me today wanting to do that last minute starter kit deal, and plan on, I'm going to do a few little phone calls after this to walk them through that process. So if you want to do that, let me know. And then some people are just grabbing, they're stocking up. I can see that they are stocking up with their cardstocks and their adhesives and everything, and grabbing one last little freebie for celebration, which is awesome. But I'm going to use, I am going to use a couple things that are freebies from celebration today, but my focus is mostly on just using up our cardstock. So for today, what we're going to do is we are going to take these 9 pieces of cardstock, and we are going to first squish them all together, which I'm planning on doing right here on just some, I've got here just a piece of photocopy paper. Okay, so this is our first step of our technique. So if you happen to have your pieces cut, some scraps, you want to get 9 pieces, and it doesn't matter what pattern. This can just be one that, you know, you're just going to try it out, and then you can create a ton more of these, because I'm sure that you don't have any shortage of cardstock scraps in your craft room. Okay, so here we go. So I'm taking the 1.5 by 1 1/8. This is the size. Oh, you have it right there. I've got it written down twice here. So it's right here. And I've taken just pieces of photocopy paper. I just cut them at, because I wanted a little bit of wiggle room. This is 3 3/4 by 5. I have gone ahead and I have taken just a little bit of my seal. I want these to be able to come off the paper after, so I'm not putting a lot on here. I'm just kind of putting just a tiny bits onto this photocopy paper. So this is not white cardstock. This is just photocopy paper. It can be a scrap. It's just a way to hold our scraps together while we run them through some texture. We do some stamping on them before we pull them apart again, okay? So I'm going to lay them down in a different pattern this time. So this is one that I've got I've got Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, and Lost Lagoon. And I've got all of those just tacked down. I'm going to do somewhat, I guess, of a pattern. Let's see. I just got to figure out which way this is going to go. This is going to go a gray here, because this is going to be kind of the order. I may have too much glue on here. I'm having to cut these apart, but that's okay. I have to turn them sideways to line them up. I don't know why, but we're gonna go, let's see here. And then this one I'm gonna want down here. So we can go red here. Okay, I'm squishing them together the best I can. I mean, we did cut these all separately, so if they're not perfectly straight, you may end up with a few little gaps here and there, but we're not going to worry about that. Okay, and then I'm going to put a black one here, like that. And then I'm going to put a gray one here. And I'm going to put, let's see here, a black one. Like that. And then I'm going to put a red one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do for this pattern. I'm going to do something a little different on each sets of these, so that you can kind of see different things that you can do with these scraps and this little technique. Okay, I'm going to got one more little, again, piece of scrap photocopy paper, and I'm just going to put just a tiny bit of my seal on there, just to hold things together. And this time I am going to go green, pink, or old olive, petunia pop, and boho blue. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do the same pattern again. So different ways. You could do totally random too if you wanted, but I want to have them in lines in different directions. Kind of more checkerboard like, I guess you would say, on the diagonal, and then this direction for stripes. Okay, I love that. Okay, all right, there's our starting point. So that's step one. Pretty simple so far, right? Now you say, okay, what are we doing now? Well, we're going to do different things on different cards because I like you to know different ways to do things. So here we go. For this one, I'm having my London Fog, yummy. We are going to add some white. I love blacks and grays and whites with a pop of red. It looks amazing. So I'm taking, these are the Happy Hibiscus little flowers, and I'm just kind of gathering them together in no real pattern, but just to have some fun and lay them across. Okay, I might do 3 together here, and I am going to glue these down. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do one there and one here, and then I'm going to bring this one, I think, up here. There is different sizes. There's like 3 different sizes in these little flowers. So I'm going to bring one here and maybe one there. Little bunches. We'll do a little one here like that. Okay, I like that. And I'm just going to glue these down. Okay. Now this one, why is it, again, going live out of glue? I really have to just clear out my empty bottles. I think because I hang on to them thinking, oh, I could get one more, as we all do, one more little bit of glue out of that. Okay. So I'm going to put this on here like that, and I'm going to glue these down. Okay. Love it. So I hope that you guys are having a great day, a good start to the weekend. I have been, let's see here, I took Jimmy out this morning, had a great little bit of fun and looping around the local dog park that we have. It was still a little bit muddy out there from the rain that we had last week, and I am lucky that Jim is not one who likes to get wet, because there were some dogs that were literally rolling in the mud. Oh, Jim was a little definitely muddy, but not coated in it, which I was happy about that. And then I came home and I've been, well, kind of thinking of some ideas for this, but also I've got some sketches. I'm going to overlap these ones a bit. I have some sketches for, in fact, I'm going to do one more for the rest of the April cards. So I'm going to be working on those after this. And then I started my PDF and everything for March's card club, which that one is closed already. That's the Delightful Wishes, and the live class is going to be on the 9th, if I remember right, of March, I think. Now, it is the first or the second Sunday of March, whatever day that is. That's when the live is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one like that. Okay. This one I'm going to leave as is. This one I'm going to do a little something with. Okay. Texture. Barb, you just know me, don't you? Yes, I'm definitely going to run some texture on that one and on this one. I've got some cute, adorable friends I'm going to add to this one. And then as for this one, I am actually going to do something a little bit different. And I am going to do a little bit of stamping and embossing on it. So I love these colors. And I have been using them in classes. So of course I had scraps. And I just love those three together. So I'm going to pull in, let's see. Which one did I grab? I've got my Natural Botanicals. So this one is one of your celebration freebies that of course is just available until, well, 11:59 Mountain Time. So for us on the west coast of Canada, we are looking at 10:59. Depending on where you are, you have to kind of adjust the time. But you know what? Don't take a chance if there is stuff that you want and, you know, trying to figure out when is the perfect time zone, especially if you're not used to doing that. You're better just to kind of go for it and stock up on some stuff, and then you can, this could be an option that you get. I've also got, I am going to be using, I have to do one more card with those adorable seagulls. And I'm going to do that in a second with a new fun texture that came out online. That looks, there are these most amazing waves like the ocean. So we're going to do that in a second too. Okay. So on this one, I had to decide whether I want to do my images stamped in silver, if I want to do in white, or if I want to do in clear. And what I've chosen to do is actually clear, because I just want to make sure that we're all good there with my buddy. I forgot my buddy last time. But clear actually is amazing if you are using multicolors, because what it's going to do is it is going to, I want to get a different Versamark. That one is an old one. Let me see. Okay, I've got like 4 other ones in my craft room. There is one, and some of them are just so old. This one is good. Okay. That one I know I just refilled, so it's a good one. But you will be surprised how the clear embossing color actually, embossing powder, looks on all colors as you stamp across them. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to just stamp some images, and I want to make it so that I am crossing over all of the colors. Okay, so I want to not stay within the square. I want to cross over the colors so that we get to see that pattern light up right across all the colors, and you get to see what that watermark really looks like. Okay, so I don't want to lift them out of their spot. That's gonna look so good. Okay, so there's one. Now I do want one of these beautiful flowers. Okay, and I'm gonna do that, I think, here because of the beautiful blue, and it just reminds me of the flower should be in blue. That's what I'm thinking. It's gonna go over those ones. Okay, so there's that image. And then we have got this big, huge, gorgeous leaf. And we're going to go across maybe this direction. That looks pretty good. Like I said, making it up as I go along. It's how I roll. Okay. But I think you will be surprised what this is going to look like, because you think, oh, we're using little squares. seen stuff like this before with squares, but this is going to look quite pretty. Now, I don't know if I want to do what other, I have this leaf. I'm not going to do that little tiny flower because it's too small. I want things that are going to go across different squares. So I'm going to do this one here because it kind of goes across these two. Okay. All right, so I am going to go ahead, I'm going to get powder on this, and you're going to see the results of this one first because we got to get our powder on and we got to heat it up. So I'm going to bring in my clear bucket. I'm going to put those ones aside. And this is, I have these little spoons, I got powder on them now, but this is the way I always do my embossing powder. I know you can get like the embossing trays and stuff. I always find these buckets so much easier because by the time that you have to try and get, each time you know, if you're doing a lot of embossing and you're using different colors, you get one color embossing powder in the tray and then you have to clean it out before you can use the other ones. So this way, I'm just using, I think these are Ziploc buckets. You could use Tupperware if you want something more permanent. And I am just holding my paper, trying to hold the pieces together too, but holding my paper over the bucket. They're kind of slipping in behind these little papers, but that's okay. And then I just tap the rest back into the bucket. So I lose less of it doing it this way. Okay. I think that is going to work beautifully. Okay. So this is the magic. Clear embossing powder is underused, I think, myself. Okay, I gotta make sure. There's so many little edges on there. I just want to make sure there's not embossing powder where I don't need it. Okay, we ready? Here we go. I don't like to wave my embossing, my heat gun around. I like to move it slowly and let the powder do its magic and just follow it. Look at this. Isn't it so beautiful? So if you haven't used clear on just plain color, whether you glue your cardstock in strips or squares, look at what happens. I love this. Okay. All right. Is anyone surprised at what that looks like in clear embossing powder? So that's clear. So the clear is nice because it allows the beauty of the color come out in your cardstock. And I just gotta make sure, let's see if I got this fully heated down here. Yep, I do. And it makes it it makes a darker, brighter color than the actual cardstock. So pretty. So I'm gonna leave that one like that. Now this one, I'm going to have some fun with this beautiful embossing folder. This is our waves. Look at that. And I'm going to pop this into here. Okay. And I'm just going to texture it as it is. So that is going to be, this is our bonus card. This is the, I don't feel like cleaning the house card, but I will. It's just going to wait until this card's done. Okay. And then this was, this is the hibiscus, happy hibiscus flowers in there. And this is the exposed tile. I think that's right. Exposed tile, distressed tile. It's in our annual catalog and it's one of my favorites. I think it's distressed tile. Okay, so I'm gonna pop that in. So I am going to run these two textures. You check that out. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be 1 sec. And we're going to see what this looks like. Okay. I need my... Okay, I had you out. Where are you? There you are. Texture, plate, and roll it through. Love it. Let's do some waves. Here we go. Let's check them out. All right, so we have got, let's see here, texture. Hello, snowstorm in Ontario. Oh no. Yeah, you guys still have winter for a bit, hey? Unlike us, our fish in our ponds, we noticed, are starting to do a little happy swim around, as they were hidden kind of down deep in the pond, and now they are on the move. Okay, so here is our texture. Here is this texture. Okay, now we are going to, this is the part different. You can do different elements with your scraps. All your 1.5 by 1 1/8 scrap. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take them off of just our scrapped piece of cardstock, or our scrap piece of photocopy paper, and hopefully these just pop off. I didn't think this part through too much. We may have some sticking to the bottom, but that's okay. I'm going to try and take them off gently. And now I'm going to transfer them actually onto a piece of white cardstock, and we're going to separate them a little bit. Okay, you could keep them together, and I could crop it up, but for this, oh, this one is going to be good and stuck. I may have to cut these. That's okay. Oh no, they're coming. It just may be a little bit of a labor to get them pulled apart, but they are going to look pretty amazing. And before I glue them down, I've got a little bit of extra fun for these squares. So let's just lay them how they're going to be on the paper. And again, I was a little happy with the glue here. There. The stamp ones are going to come off quite a bit easier. I'm just keeping them in order here than the textured ones, because as I went and textured them, of course, it holds them together so that it's a continuous textured pattern, which is what I wanted, but it of course presses it more onto the white paper and presses that adhesive. So next time I would definitely maybe use a little less glue, but we're getting through. Okay. Oh yeah, these bottom ones coming off a little easier. There. That's okay if you have a little extra white on the back. Not a big deal. Like I said, the main thing is I want to keep the texture in line. Okay. 2 and 3. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to have some fun with that in a second. I just want to pull all the rest of these off, and we'll do one by one. These are coming off a lot easier than the last ones. So that's just going to come off like this. 2, and separate a little bit. It's going to look so good. You could frame it in different colors, but I thought, you know, white's always nice and classic, and I will probably end up doing some sort of light gray, like a smoky slate, for our actual card base. There's that one. That one was easy, right? Okay, this one's going to be a little more difficult, and I may end up having to cut some of these because they are gone across the 2 squares, which is what I wanted to do, because I would like the flowers to go from one square to the other, but it just means we're going to cut them. Okay, so I'm going to take these apart like that, and I'm going to actually cut. So I'm going to get my paper snips in here, and I'm just going to cut like that. Okay, so there is like one. Got to keep my pattern. Oh no, that was the bottom. Hold on, so that's the center. Yes, I think so. Let's see, and then this one is going to be down the center there. Perfect. I just got to keep my pattern. So this one I think is like this. This one is like this. And this one is like that. So see how now we've got our textured, beautiful pattern. And we have got our little flowers that have been pressed into there. It's like pressed little paper flowers. They are going from one over to the next. So I'm going to take off as much as I can of the backing, but I'm not going to worry about this white scrap because it is just scrap, and if there's a little bit left on there, that's okay. The most important thing is having it together when it's all pressed. Okay. If you have got some adhesive that is temporary, then that is going to work much better than what I've got going on here. Okay, so I have to see, that one was there, that one was there, this one is here. These two go like that, and then this goes like that. Okay, so I'm going to just add, I'm going to cut these apart here. Okay, keep those together, and then I need to add a little glue because these ones, because I only had glue probably on one little section, I want to make sure that these go together. Okay, like that, and then I'm going to cut down the center. So I'm going to actually trim, it's easier if I just trim that and glue it on to this side. So depending on what you're using, I mean, it may be a little finicky if you're doing something like this, flowers overlaying the edge, but they're going to be worth it because they're going to look so good. Okay, and then these ones, same thing. Okay, and I'm going to attach them right here. Okay, like that. Can I get them back on there? My goodness, are they gluing together? They are. Oh, this may take a little bit longer. Vacuuming might have to wait a little bit longer. Oh yeah, those two are stuck together now. Okay. Well, we're gonna have one on there. The other one's stuck on top of each other. So I'm gonna leave it like that for right now. And then for this one, let's see here. We're gonna add a little glue on here. I think it's easier to do it that way. And I'm gonna let those ones set up while I work on the other. That's what I should have done for the others. There, we'll let it set up and then I'll cut those apart, okay? In the meantime, let's start with the center one. I am going to bring in some friendly little seagulls that you probably remember. And we're gonna have a little bit of fun with these guys because it is the last day of celebration. I figured I'm gonna use them and I'm gonna have a little fun. So I think that I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm gonna glue this one into this square. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go now, and I think for this one, I am actually going to let the wingspan actually stay. We're cutting off the toes though, okay? But we're gonna let the wingspan stay and do its thing. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, then I've got one that's gonna be, he's actually gonna be our focal point, but this one here is actually going to come in from up here because he's a little bit crazy. So we're gonna let him come from the top and come down this way on an angle. I'll let him just drop on in. Okay. There's lots of different ways in which to use these crazy little guys. And this is just some more fun that you can have with them. Okay. I'm going to have, this one is going to be coming in from this direction and going to be squawking. So we're going to put him on here like that. Oh, you know what? That's not the one that I want, because that one actually has feet. I'm saving him. This is the one I want on here. Okay, so that one's going to go there. I'm going to trim it up like so. And I'm going to keep him within a square. So he's going to come onto there like that. We've got this one. I am thinking this one might just hang out like this. Just like so. Okay, and we will keep him in a square like that. Okay, so now that I've got all of the seagulls where I want them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting down these squares onto this card stock. Okay, so I want to have them so that they are about 1/8 of an inch from the top and the side, and then you're going to have the smallest little gap in between, so not very much at all. And we will end up, we can trim it up afterwards, but I want just a tiny bit of a gap, like a 1/16 of an inch. And you can see though, when I bring it up close afterwards, you're going to see how it keeps the texture in between. It flows through the gaps. Okay, this here is where we're going to put our little focal point, and we're going to put our fun little squawky seagull who's going to have a little cute message. So again, about a 1/16 of an inch, which is quite tiny in between all of the spaces, and we'll frame it all up so it's all pretty around the edges in a minute with our little cutter, just like that. Awesome. Okay, now this one needs to go over just a little bit more. This is why I use my liquid glue, and this one needs a little bit more. We need less of a gap, just a smidgen of white, so we line up a little bit more on the edges. That's better. And then on the bottom, same thing. I almost have to turn it on the side again just to be able to line these up. But I love how the waves in there go from square to square, and the texture all comes together. If you wanted to, you don't have to separate them. I just love that little bit of a white gap in between all of the pieces. And there's our last one. Tuck it in, looking good. Okay, look at that. Those are cute little seagulls on there. Okay, so we're going to, I'll finish this one up. I'm going to add a little greeting, and we're going to pop up this little seagull on here, and I'm going to get a little tiny stylish shapes, and I'm going to get the little stamp that says hello friend. So I'm going to use that in, let's see here, hello friend, where are you? There you are. No, we don't want French fries. We want the hello friend. Hey friend is what we want. And I'm going to stamp that in just black, and then we'll tuck it in underneath the seagull. And I'm going to grab, I think, a little bit of grayish black twine there. That is Pebble Path, and we're going to do just a little bit underneath our greeting, I think. I've got all these twines that I always have right next to my workspace. They're kind of like my go-to. You see me pull them out of a little bucket next to my crafting area. I mean, I do use ribbon as well, but I do love just putting, especially this twine that I take all of the fibers apart, and I like putting those underneath the greetings because they're nice and light. They're not too bulky, and you can kind of just flip them and make a little bit of a mess like that. Not overthink it. Look at that. And then you can pop your dimensionals over top to hold it into place. Like so. 1, 2, 3. And then we can put this down across here. Look at how cute. Where's our little happy friend? It's gonna go like that. Hey friend. Maybe I'll bring him up a little bit. Like that. Love it. And then I'm gonna crop that a little bit. So I'm gonna get my mini cutter and I'm just gonna cut down the edges so that everything is all nice and tidy. So I'm gonna trim it a bit there. We're gonna trim it across the bottom a little bit, like that, and along this edge, just the tiniest bit. So there we have got our finished little panel. Okay, and you can see how the waves, whoop, where did that, hello, see how the waves kind of go from all the different squares. Love that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that onto a gray base here in a second and add some embellishments. So there's one of our little pieces all ready to go. For this one, I am going to just glue down all of our pieces. Again, space them out. I had a spare piece of cardstock, so I'm just going to work off of one to the other instead of, makes it a little quicker. Then I'll use that piece for the last one. So we're going to go across like that. And again, keeping in mind kind of framing up the edges. This one I think is going to be my favorite. Although the seagulls are always cute. I just wanted to create one more fun seagull card, give you guys lots of ideas, because a lot of people, that was the first thing that you grabbed. And when I did my birthday party bash in January and February, and I'm going to be doing one more coming up this month. I just have to connect with a couple ladies. The seagulls were one of the stamp sets that everybody ended up with, so gives you lots of ideas to use with those little seagulls. So see how this comes together and it goes across, and you've got all of the beautiful colors, how they come out of the cardstock with that clear embossing. Just makes for such a beautiful backdrop. In fact, I have, for fall, I often do this technique during the fall time, and I will take like Old Olive, Cajun Craze, Mossy Meadow, Crushed Curry, all those gorgeous rich fall colors, and I will do strips, and I will span it the whole, like a big block across a card, and I will start stamping some big beautiful leaves, and then I will just do clear embossing, and it looks stunning. Just such a pretty fall look. Okay, so there's our second one. all framed up. Just got to make sure it's flat so that you can see the white space a little bit more. Bring that up a little bit, that up a little bit, there. Don't want that one as quite as much space there, that's better. Okay, so there's our second one. I'm going to just trim it, and then we will get a beautiful greeting on there. 1 and 2, and this side looks pretty good. Okay, so there is our second one. I also have, once I've got my greeting on there, I'm going to use some of this pretty twine there. Okay, so there is our second one. This one here, a little trickier, right? These should be dry enough. I was being ambitious with these flowers and hoping that all the little pieces of the flowers would stay together. So I lost, like I said, a little petal up top there, but that's okay. So I'm going to put these onto the white, but this is going to look really pretty because you've got the white flowers and then you've got this texture, and I just love the white and the black and the red together. So we're going to put that one down there, and I think once this one's framed in, and once we get them, like, look at that. Once we get them onto the card bases, this is going to look quite beautiful. And I just have to decide what ribbon. I've got some new ribbon that I might use for this one. I've got some beautiful white ribbon, and it is the ribbon that's going to be in April's card club with all the botanical textures is what we're using. And I do have the white ribbon. It's like a beautiful textured ribbon, and I've got some nice neutral embellishments to put on it. Okay. Oop. There. So with these, I mean, all the squares are the same. You can do this technique with, you could, of course, use all sorts of different pattern papers. It would look more like a quilt because you would have all the patterns, right? But I often do ideas on using up scraps of your gorgeous pattern paper, but using up your cardstock, sometimes it's a little bit harder to think of things to do. So I wanted to show a few different ways that you could just use squares, and you could step them up a little bit, whether it's texture and pressing something into the texture. Like this may have been one that if I were to do it again, I wouldn't bother separating it. It's all pressed together nicely. Separating it is where it got a little tricky, although it's gonna look good. If you're wanting something quick, you might be better just to keep it pressed together. Right? There we go. All right, that's pretty good. It's lining it pretty good. There. The cutting of the flowers doesn't make it as sharp of an edge in between, but you guys get the gist, okay? All right, once we have to make it all even, all sides, then we will frame it in with some lighter gray. I think I have some lighter gray ready to go. Okay. Like that. There. Okay. That looks pretty nice now. Okay, so here are our 3 pieces. Okay, clear embossed. We've got pressed embossing, dry embossing, and then we have got our waves. Okay, and we added things on top. Now, I'm gonna get out. Okay. I knew I had lots of card bases all ready to go in my rainbow box. So I'm going to get out, start with this one. Like, look, that's when it looks adorable, right? When you add that on top, it just looks super cute. When it's all framed in, The process takes a little bit, and you gotta remember we're doing 3 cards at once here. But once you have everything all done, you pop it onto a card base. It's all framed in. This one's already got its greeting. We're gonna add a few little embellishments on it, and it's gonna be cute. Okay, so let's bring this in here. We can frame it in a little bit. Now, because we did a little trimming, you may end up with the height being a little bit more than the sides. So what you want to do is you want to focus on making sure there's just equal distance between the sides and then equal distance between the top. And it's okay if there's more space top and bottom, as long as the sides, there's, you know, it's centered side and top. Isn't that cute though, with all of the waves? Look at all those waves in there. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of embellishing. For this one, I've got, let's see, I've got some of these left over. I'm just using bits and pieces out of my craft room that I've got. So I have got, these are, I don't know when these ones were used. One of my card clubs. These are the iridescent foil gems. And you may still have some of these kicking around in your craft room. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna do one up here. So there is our first card, all finished. Okay, I'm gonna line them up here. That's number 1. Then we're gonna frame this one in. Again, let's get a base. And I'm gonna go same color base for all of them. So we're gonna go with the smoky slate. For this one, I think I'm gonna just do a big greeting on it. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, take all of these off. Okay, come on, there we go. And then, whoop, oh, my caffeine's kicking in. Okay, there we go. So again, I'm focusing side to side, top and bottom. I'll finish that one off in a second with a greeting. And let's get a base on this one. Oh, see, I like that framed up in the smoky slate. Makes a difference once they're on the card bases, right? Okay. And then again, I'll see which other embellishments I've got just hanging out beside me. Little bits and pieces. Okay, now I think I'm going to pull in from another stamp set that I've got. I know for this one I wanted to use the greeting from the Happy Hibiscus, and it has one of my favorite greetings, this one here, You Make Me Smile. So I'm going to use that one. Maybe I'll just use it for this one too. See when we got it. Just to finish these off with something pretty. And this is a greeting that you could use for any reason. So I'm going to bring in some scraps. Let's see, I'm going to do just white on both of them, I think. So I'm going to bring in a strip of white cardstock that I've got. Let's see. I'm going to cut one at 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one at 1 inch, and I'm going to stamp the You Make Me Smile, and I'm going to stamp it in black. And then for this one, I'm thinking that I should grab the petunia pop, because I think that would be pretty to have something nice and bright on there. Okay, I like it. Now, I'm gonna see if I have it far enough. This is a punch in which you get to kind of take your pick on how wide you want something, but it gives you these great little textures on either end. So I'm gonna go with that edging and then I just have to cut this off. This is a celebration freebie. And normally these type of punches are about $30. I think these ones might be a little bit more. So you have until, let's see, we are coming up almost 4, and you have until 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got 5, 6, 7 hours left for celebration. But look at how pretty that edging is. So I'm going to do that one right here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a grayish. So I'm going to use some of this, and again I'm going to just go over it like that. And I think I'm going to pop up some of the leftover white flowers. So I'm going to use this to hold it. We'll go like that. Let's see. I want it to hang over the edge a little bit like that. Perfect. Okay. And then bring that in a little bit there. And then we can pop it on, and we can actually use some of just the white flowers that are left and pop them on here. So I'm going to do this here. You make me smile. And then I'm going to take some of these leftover white flowers that aren't pressed, and I'm going to add those onto the front of the card. So then I can use these somewhat like an embellishment. So see how I can put one over top there. And then I can, let's see, I need my little tiny, there you are, little tiny dimensional. And I'm going to put one right down here like that. And I like to work in 3s. Do I have a medium one left? I don't. I'll have to do with this size. But I'm going to put this one, I think right there would look quite pretty. You can still see a bit of that edging, but I'm going to put it so it kind of goes off the card a little bit and hooks right in to the smaller one. So I will tuck it in like that. Okay, so there is that card. So see how once you got it all finished off, it looks quite beautiful. I've got some clear iridescent little sequins that I'm going to pull out, and we'll just add those on here as well. Put one there, one there. I like them almost on the black. 1, 2, and I'm going to put one down there because they really show up on the black. So there is our second card. The black and the gray and the red. I know, it's so pretty. Okay. Okay, so there's the next one. So did you think that it would actually end up turning out like that, right? It's surprising once you get all your features on there, what you can create. I do love the greeting of the You Make Me Smile, so I'm going to go with that one again, but I do want to pull in this purple and finish this one off. And I'm going to just do lots of little flowers and stuff, or some sequins around it to finish this one off. So I'm going to keep it fairly simple. We're not going to add any other elements to it because I don't want to cover up the way that the stamping looks on this one. I think it's pretty how the stamping flows from one square to the next, and if we add too much over top, then we're going to lose that effect. Okay, so I'm going to just trim this out. And again, I'm going to use that take your pick punch. And I just want to put my lid on my ink pad because we've seen what happens if I don't. Okay. So I'm going to use the other side. So there's 2 different edging. I'm going to use this other, more like a kind of a ticket edge. And I'm going to bring that one in. Okay, just got to make sure it's nice in there straight. There it is. And I'm going to punch that one. And then flip it over, just stick the other edge in like that. Okay, there it is. And there is the little ticketed edge Okay, so it has the 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 inch little grooves that they run into, and so you can play with the width of it. It's kind of a cool way to do it because you don't need to have just one size. You have 3 different options for your width of your cardstock. So we're going to go and bring this one in here like that. No, I want it a little bit more like a bow. I'm going to lay it on its back here, and we're going to go like this. One, I want a tail. I want one little loop. And I want another little loop. And then I want it to hang out like that. Okay, so I can kind of play with it from this side and then add a few more like that. And it may look like a mess on the back, but look at that on the front. We have like a little bow, which is what I wanted. Okay. So I'm going to put this down right here. And look at how pretty that is. I love the colors of this one. This is quite the pretty color combination. I don't know if I've used that color combination before, but I do love it. So the boho blue, petunia pop, and granny apple green. It almost looks lighter, I think, because of the clear embossing, but that's what it is. Okay, almost looks like a, sorry, this is old olive. It looks like a granny apple green because of the embossing on it, but it's actually old olive. And then add this little bit of sparkle. I don't think you need much more than that. These have a kind of a pink hue. I could have used the pink hue on there, but I didn't. Afterthought. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do one more little one onto the pink here. Okay, so there is that one. Oh my gosh, it's hard to pick. And then we still have our crazy little seagull friends. And we have used up some scraps. Now I probably have enough card scraps that if I wanted to cut up all these squares, I could probably make 1,000 more of these cards. Then I wouldn't have to clean it all today, right? I will get to my cleaning. I'm going to do it next. Okay, so there is our waves. Look at the beautiful waves in the background. So again, we cut up 5.5 by 1 1/8 pieces. We just temporarily glued them onto, like, and I would not use as much glue as I did. Live and learn, right? This is the first time I'm doing this. I would just use, like, if you have temporary adhesive, just use a tiny bit of it, hold them all together so that you can run them through. And then when you separate them and you actually put them onto cardstock, you have the flow of the embossing folder that goes through the entire card, right? And then, hello, Joy. I'm glad you got to join us live as well. And then we have got this one where, again, held them all together on that temporary piece. We glued the flowers on. This one was a little trickier. The actual little tiny piece of this flower is glued in behind there. It got stuck. So that's why that one looks a little weird there. But we ended up cutting them apart and they went over top from one to the other. So that was a little trickier. Not as clean, but I still like the result. I like the colors. And maybe you could keep these ones just tight together rather than separating them. Or I would use my paper cutter next time to separate them. Okay, just to make a cleaner edge in here. But I do love the black and the gray and the white and popping up with some untextured flowers. Okay, and then this one, we again put them all together so they were temporary together. We stamped across using, this is the beautiful Natural Botanicals. Again, another celebration one you can still grab. Got 7 hours. And we did just clear embossing, which a lot of people don't think to just use your clear embossing with multicolored cardstock. So there you have it. It brightens it It adds a shine. See the shine? The clear embossing. Hold on, we got to get the light. There it is. See that? Love it. And it just looks so pretty because it makes it so bright, right? Okay. So, paper technique for you. You can get busy with all of your scrap pieces of cardstock this weekend. What do we think? Pretty good? I hope you guys had a nice cup of something. I'm going to finish off my London fog. I want to thank you for joining me. And I think that I need to give away something. I do. So for those of you that are still hanging out, if you are within Canada, you do have to be within Canada for me to be able to send off the little gifties. But I do have, let's see. I have got one left of this Corner in Bloom. So this is one of the celebration ones. That you can still get this one, but it's with a $150 order, so not as many people have this one. So I thought I would give this one away, and I am going to give it away to comment number 5. We're going to keep it nice and quick here. Comment number 5, starting now. Now, could you imagine this stamped in clear embossing powder? This is going to look gorgeous. In fact, I think I should do a card like that today. And I will post it. Okay, Mary, you're number 1. Donna, you're number 2. You caught me live. You did. I'm glad you did too. Judy, you're number 3. Margaret, you are like my lucky lady from across the ocean there, across the way on... we're still on the West Coast, but she's just across Vancouver, and this is coming your way. So, Corner in Bloom is coming your way. Congratulations. I can see you making some pretty fabulous stuff with that. This would look great on water coloring, but I think it would look great just embossing like this. I think it would look stunning. Okay. All right, congratulations, Margaret. I will get that off to you. You have to let me know which one of the 3 cards you like. I hope that you guys enjoy using up your cardstock scraps. And I want to, again, same way of putting them together, just embossing, adding something over top, pressing something in, or heat embossing with clear powder, okay? That's today's Cuppa, Create and Connect. So thank you guys for all connecting with me on a Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any questions, any last minute orders or anything that you would like to pop in and get your freebies, let me know. Check out the link that I have got in the description, because not only is it going to let you know the host code if you do want to quickly pop something in, it also takes you to my direct join with the starter kit. Okay, so you get to be one of our Stamp It Canadian ladies. And then it also shows you where you can sign up for April's Card Club. Oh, I have one card. One is finished. I have a few that are, there it is there. You only got to see a little peek of it online, but that is, I love all these papers with the botanical texture. So that is one of the cards for April. I'm working on a couple other designs. They're half done. So you can start signing up for April. And if you do want the bundle, if you're not a demonstrator, because I do have quite a few just hobby demos that take my classes, and you can already get the textured notes bundle with your discount, and then you can just sign up for the kit if you're within Canada. If you are in the States or anywhere else, there's an option for PDF and video to do my club classes. So the link in the description will take you to the last 2 months that you can grab those. They were Terrific Toadstool and Cake Celebration. The Delightful Wishes will be joining the PDF store on March the 10th. okay? And that's all I got for you, okay? I will see you on Sunday morning. We are going to do Sunday morning step up starting at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to join us, you can definitely do that. I can let you know that I am going to be using more scraps. It is going to be a different layout, and you will need different strips of scraps that are a 1/2 inch wide. So that's all I'm going to tell you. 1/2 inch wide. So if you got a stash, different colors, different patterns, whatever you've got, and you want to grab a bunch, then you can do some creating while I am doing the step up design on Sunday. Okay? All right. Take care, and congratulations, Margaret. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad some of you got to join me live for the first time today, and hopefully we'll see you back. And everybody else, I'm glad you guys got a little visit. I saw some hellos and everything in the comments. I love that. Love this creative little community we have, and you guys always have fun chatting. So take care. Bye.